Oh, ain't it grand to live and breathe and let your chest expand? Morning, Tab.
Good morning, Al.
The skies are blue, the world's a song when life is notes to you. I've got eternal youth because I've got my heart where it belongs. Don't care who makes the nation's laws, long as I can sing its songs. I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a teapot too. Anything with a swing or two, and I love you. I love it too. I love it to sing. Give me a song about a son who gone went and done wrong. But keep it cleaner. With a cottage small by a waterfall, any sobber that'll throb to a bluebird's call. I love it too. I love it to sing. I was born a singing fool, la-dee-da. Major Bose is gonna spot me. Got through Yale with boola boola, la-dee-da. Oh, microphone's got me. I love to sing. I love to wake up with the salsa in my mouth and wave the flag with a cheer for Uncle Sammy and another for my mammy. I love to sing.
I love to sing about a moon and a June and a spring. Oh, I love to sing about the sky blue and TV too. Singing with the swinger of I love you. Love. Give me a song about a Santa Claus that went and done it wrong, but keep it cleaner. About how it's smaller with a waterfall, and it's something that is proper to a bluebird's call. Love, sing.
I was born a singing fool, la-dee-da.
Oh, Major Bose is gonna spot ya.
Got through Yale with boola boola, la-dee-da.
Oh, microphone gotcha.
I love to sing. I love to wake up with the salsa in my mouth and wave the flag with a cheer for Uncle Sammy and another for my mammy. I love to sing.
Bernard Horsfall as Harry Lawson and Geoffrey Banks as Professor Van Hardwig in A Journey to the Center of the Earth, the novel by Jules Verne, adapted for radio in 8 parts by Howard Jones. Part 4, The Central Sea.
My name is Harry Lawson. I am a nephew by marriage of that now celebrated German scientist, Professor Van Hardwig. Professor Hardwig is eccentric, brave, and impetuous. Accompanied by our faithful guide, Hans Bjelke, we descended the crater of Snæfell. We journeyed many leagues through subterranean passages. We almost died of thirst before Hans discovered a hot spring. One day, I became separated from my companions, 100 miles beneath the surface of the earth. I was alone, lost in utter darkness. I must have gone mad for a while. I ran about screaming, dashing myself against the granite sides of the passage. And then, as I lay with my head close to the wall, I seemed to hear a strange, distorted jumble of sound far, far away. I seemed to hear voices speaking my name. Could it be that this passage was a sort of whispering gallery? I believed it must be so. I put my lips to the wall, and I said as clearly and as distinctly as I could, "Uncle Hardwig." I waited. To my distracted mind, an eternity passed. Then, some words reached my ears and stirred my throbbing heart anew.
Harry, my boy, is that you? Harry, is that you?
Yes. Yes, Uncle.
Where are you?
I don't know.
And your lamp?
My lamp is out. Smashed.
What about the Handbach, our guiding stream?
I have lost it.
I see. Keep your courage up, Harry. We will do our best.
Uncle, I haven't the strength to answer a lot of questions, but I beg you, for heaven's sake, go on talking to me.
Do not talk yourself, my boy. Just listen to me. We have been searching for you in all directions. gallery. I had begun to give up hope. Even I, my dear boy. You can never know the tears I have shed. At last, supposing you to be still on the road, beside the Hansbach, we came down the gallery again, firing our guns. It may be a long time before we actually meet, but do not despair, my dear boy. It is something gained, even to hear each other.
Uncle, there is one thing I must know.
And what is that, Harry?
I must know how far away you are.
It's not difficult to calculate, I think.
Let us do so. Have you the chronometer?
Of course.
Take it in your hand. Speak my name and note exactly the second at which you speak. I will reply as soon as I hear your voice, and you will note how much time has elapsed when my reply reaches you.
Very good. The meantime between question and answer will be the time taken by my voice to reach you.
Yes, and so we can calculate the distance between us.
Very ready, then. I am about to speak your name.
I put my ear closer to the gallery wall, and as soon as I heard the professor speak my name, I put my lips to the wall and repeated it. At last, at long, long last, my uncle spoke again.
Your voice, therefore, takes 20 seconds to reach me. Now, allowing 1,020 feet for every second, we have 20,400 feet as the distance between us. That is a league and a half and 1/8 of a league.
A league and a half? But that's 5 miles.
We shall get over it, Harry. Depend on us.
But in which direction? Will you ascend or descend?
Listen carefully. Until that we can pass over the space. A kind of bare crossroad with galleries in all directions. The galleries where you are now must necessarily bring you to these crossroads. So pull yourself together, Harry. Take it carefully and continue on your way. Walk if you have the strength. If you cannot walk, drag yourself along. Slide if nothing else is possible. The slope, I think, is steep, probably very steep, but do not fear. You will find strong arms to receive you at your journey's end. Now make a start, Harry. There's a good fellow.
Very well, if you think that's best. Once I leave this spot, we shan't be able to talk any more. I'm starting off now. Goodbye, Uncle. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Harry. Until we say welcome.
Goodbye, Harry, until we say welcome. These were the last words I heard my uncle speak. I rose unsteadily to my feet, but I soon discovered that I could not walk, that I must crawl and drag myself along. The slope became very steep, and I allowed myself to slide down. The slope steepened. I slid faster and faster. I could do nothing to save myself. Suddenly, the earth gave way beneath me. I was flung forward into a void of solid blackness. It was a sort of well, a vertical gallery. My head struck against a projecting rock. I dropped senseless as if death had already claimed me for his own. Presently, I opened my eyes. I was lying on some thick, soft coverlets, and all about me was a sort of twilight. And my uncle was watching, his eyes moist with tears, fixed steadfastly on my face. I must have spoken or made a sound of some sort, for he suddenly grasped my hand and uttered a cry of joy.
Oh, he lives. He lives.
Uncle!
My dear boy, you are saved. Hans is saved.
We were always sure he would be saved. Good day, Master Harry.
Good day, Hans. Good day. Well, now that we've met again, tell me where we are.
Tomorrow we will talk.
I seem to have lost my bearings entirely. I can scarcely remember anything. Hello? What's wrong with my head?
It is dressed and bandaged, that is all. Sleep now, and tomorrow we will talk.
Yes, tomorrow we will tell you all you want to know.
At least tell me now what the time is, and what day is it?
The time, the day. Why, it is now 11 o'clock at night, and this is once more Sunday. Yes, this is Sunday, the 9th of the month of August.
And that's quite enough. Harry, I forbid you to ask any more questions until the 10th.
Which is tomorrow. Now it is best you sleep.
Next morning, when I awoke, I immediately looked around me. My bed, which was made up of all our traveling rugs, was in an enchanting grotto where magnificent stalagmites glittered with all the colors of the rainbow. Beneath me was a floor of soft and silvery sand, and everywhere was hazy twilight. No torch, no lamp was burning, but certain mysterious beams of light reached me through the entrance of the grotto. And there was something more. I heard, or seemed to hear, a vague, indefinite murmur, like the ebb and flow of waves upon a shore. And sometimes I truly believed I could hear the sighing of a wind. I began to think I must be dreaming. And even when I assured myself that this really was no dream, that I was fully awake, I began to wonder if my brain had been affected by my fall, and all that had happened to me in the last 24 hours was a frenzied vision of madness. But then I thought, then surely not both my eyes and my ears would deceive me at the same time. No, it was a fact that somehow a ray of blessed daylight had penetrated a fissure in the rocks. But what about the murmur of the waves, the sighing of a wind? Perhaps, thought I, perhaps they have carried me back to the surface of the earth during my illness. Perhaps my uncle has given up the expedition. As I was puzzling myself about these things, my uncle joined me.
Good morning, Harry. I fancy you are better this morning, eh?
Yes, Uncle.
Splendid, splendid. You slept soundly, very soundly, my boy. Hans and I took turn and turn about to watch you. Seemed to us you were improving every hour. Eh, Hans, eh?
Oh, yes, he is much better.
You know, I'm jolly hungry. I feel I could devour anything you put in front of me.
Good. You shall eat. I think you have no fever. I put an ointment on your wounds and bruises, an ointment of which only we Icelanders know the secret. I am sure you are better, much better.
My uncle presently put a meal before me, and as soon as I had eaten, I overwhelmed him with questions. He told me that my providential fall had brought me to the bottom of an almost perpendicular gallery, and that I came down amidst a perfect shower of boulders, the smallest of which could easily have crushed me to death. They came to the conclusion that I had dislodged and carried down with me an enormous rock, and riding, as it were, on this fearful chariot, I was cast down and fell almost headlong into my uncle's arms, insensible and covered with blood.
Yes, Harry, it is a miracle that you were not killed 1,000 times over. So let us take care, my dear boy, never to separate again. Never.
Never to separate again? But
that is what I said. Why, what is the matter, Harry?
have we or haven't we returned to the surface of the earth?
Oh, we certainly have not.
I must be delirious. Down in that direction I can see daylight. And don't I hear the whistling of a wind? The murmur of a sea?
And is this all that makes you uneasy?
Well, surely it's enough. Can you explain these things?
I will not attempt to explain them, my boy, for the whole thing is inexplicable. But as to that, you shall see and judge for yourself. My opinion, for what it is worth, is that geological science is only in its infancy, Harry. And we shall astonish the world with our discoveries.
Very well. Let me see for myself, then.
Not so fast, my dear Harry. After what you have been through, you must take great care before going into the open air.
Open air? But when my uncle realized that my unsatisfied curiosity was doing me more harm than good, he gave way. Wrapping myself in one of the coverlets, I hurried from the grotto. At first, I could see practically nothing. My eyes, quite unused to the light, could not bear the brightness, and I had to close them. When I was able to reopen them and to adjust them to the light, I stood motionless, unable to utter a word. Never in my wildest moments had I imagined a scene like this. The sea! The sea!
Yes, Harry, the Central Sea. No future navigator can contest the fact that I discovered it, and hence I have the right of naming it the Central Sea.
A vast, limitless expanse of water. A shore of beautiful, soft, golden sand mixed with small shells. The long, deserted home of some of the creatures of a past age. The waves broke incessantly with a peculiarly sonorous murmur, and many a dash of spray was blown into my face. A mighty superstructure of rock rose above us to an inconceivable height. On all sides were caves and promontories and enormous cliffs, partially worn by the eternal breaking of the waves through countless ages. And the cliffs faded into distance like a fleecy film of cloud. This was in reality an ocean, with all the usual characteristics of an inland sea, only horribly wild, cold, and savage. How was it that I was able to look out on this vast sheet of water instead of finding myself in impenetrable darkness? All before me was lit up, as if by daylight. But some things were lacking. The dazzling brilliancy of the sun, the pale, cold light of the moon, the brightness of the stars. It was evident that the light of this subterranean region, from its trembling and flickering, its clear, dry whiteness, its superiority to moonlight, was electric. Something in the nature of the aurora borealis, only that its phenomena were constant and able to light up the whole of the ocean cavern. The tremendous vault above our heads, the sky, so to speak, appeared to be composed of nebulous vapors in constant motion. There were heavy and dense clouds rolling through the vault, partially concealing the roof. Electric currents produced an astonishing play of light and shade. Deep shadows were cast beneath, and then suddenly, between two clouds, there would come a ray of unusual beauty and remarkable intensity. The effect was sad and melancholy. Instead of a noble sky of blue studded with stars, there was about me a heavy roof of granite. In truth, we were imprisoned. Confined, as it were, in a vast excavation. But it was impossible to make out the dimensions of the place. The shore on either hand widened rapidly and was lost to sight, and on the distant horizons a haze bounded our view. As to the height, we could see that it must be many miles to the roof. I felt, as I stood upon that mysterious shore, like some wandering inhabitant of a distant planet gazing upon a new world for the first time. I gazed, I pondered, I admired, all in a state of stupefaction, not unmingled with fear. My uncle, who had been watching my face anxiously, now smiled with satisfaction.
Ah, splendid. You are getting some color back into your cheeks, my boy.
Am I? The air smells good, doesn't it?
Yes, Harry. Breathe it in. Breathe deeply.
Uncle, how long were we in those fearful tunnels? I mean, how long since we descended the crater of Sneffels?
47 days.
47? The longest days of my life.
Oh, come now. We have achieved great things. Do you feel strong enough to stroll up and down for a little?
Yes, of course.
That's the way. Yes, take my arm, my boy. Slowly now, slowly.
We began to walk along the shores of this great lake. After we had walked about 500 yards, we rounded a steep promontory and found ourselves close to a lofty forest. It consisted of straight trunks with tufted tops, in shape like parasols. The wind seemed to have no effect upon them, for despite a tolerable breeze, they remained as still and motionless as if they were made of stone. We hastened forward, and I said, "What trees are these, Uncle? I've never seen anything like them."
Oh, I am sure you have. It's a forest of mushrooms.
Mushrooms? Thousands of mushrooms? 40 feet high? It can't be.
Large mushrooms, I grant you, but nevertheless, mushrooms. Let us go on a little.
The cold and the gloom in the shade of the mushroom forest were intense, and I was glad to return to the light and comparative warmth of the shores of the lake. We had not gone far when we came upon many familiar trees, growing to an exorbitant size. Trees, gigantic grasses, flowering ferns as tall as pines.
Oh, magnificent, splendid. Here we have the whole flora of the transition period spread before us. The common plants of our gardens growing like mighty trees. Look around you, Harry. No botanist ever before gazed on such a sight. A great hothouse and a vast menagerie.
A menagerie? What do you mean, Uncle?
Look at the dust you are treading on. Bones, my boy. The bones of antediluvian animals. Here, look. The lower jawbone of a mastodon.
Yes. And teeth.
Ah, yes. The molars of a dinotherium.
Here's a leg of some sort.
Belonging to a megatherium. Did you ever see anything more splendid? But there, we have seen enough for one day. Let us turn back.
Next morning, I awoke early, feeling completely restored. After my illness and suffering, I thought a swim would do me good, and so I plunged into the waters of the Central Sea. It was cool, fresh, and invigorating.
Oh, you have been for a swim, eh, Master Harry?
Yes, and I'm quite famished.
Good. I have made a fire and cooked a breakfast. Will you have coffee?
Coffee? Yes, please, Hans.
Then here is coffee. Very hot. I think you are better. You are quite recovered.
I think I am, Hans. I say, where are you off to?
I have work to do. Do not worry.
When I had eaten, I returned to the seashore with the professor. The waves were breaking monotonously on the beach, and the waters seemed to be rising.
I imagine the tide is almost at flood.
The tide? Do you mean that the sun and the moon exert a pull on this sea?
Why not, pray? You can see by this foam that the tide rises at least 10 or 12 feet.
The tides, the winds, the clouds. It's marvelous.
Oh, on the contrary, it's quite natural.
I suppose you might say nothing's impossible. If you won't accept the theory of the Earth's central heat, that is, the deeper you go down, the hotter.
Oh, we have discussed that a dozen times. Sir Humphrey Davy did not accept it, and everything we have seen justifies him.
Nothing is impossible. It's hard to believe. I must try fishing in this sea, Uncle. Perhaps I shall discover some unknown species of fish. Have you any idea where we are?
350 leagues from Iceland.
Over 1,000 miles? What about our direction?
Still going to the southeast, with a western declination of 19 degrees, 42 minutes.
How far down are we?
We are now exactly 35 leagues, more than 100 miles beneath the surface of the Earth.
So we're now probably beneath the Scottish Highlands. The Grampian Hills are over our heads.
Yes, but you need not fear that the vault will fall down and crush us. The mighty architect of the universe is safe and certain in his handiwork.
I'm not afraid of that, Uncle. But tell me, now that we've seen these wonders and talked about them, what are your future plans?
What do you mean, my future plans?
I mean, isn't it time we were thinking of returning to the surface?
Go back? Surely you're not thinking of anything so stupid, so cowardly? My intention is to continue our journey. So far we have been singularly lucky, and I hope we shall be more so in the future.
You intend to cross this sea?
Certainly.
How?
I am not going to swim it, as Leander swam the Hellespont, I assure you. But it stands to reason there's a limit to the extent of the sea.
Then how far away is the further shore?
Oh, I imagine it is some 40 or 50 leagues away, more or less. But we have no time for further discussion. We shall embark tomorrow.
Embark? Where's the ship we're going to embark on?
Who said anything about the ship? My dear Harry, if you were to listen instead of talking so much, you would hear...
Yes? What would I hear?
Listen.
That's Hans. Hans! Hans!
Hey, you speak, Master Harry?
What are you making?
Oh, you like this?
What are you making?
A raft, Master Harry. A raft, that's what it is.
That was the fourth installment of A Journey to the Center of the Earth, adapted by Howard Jones from the novel by Jules Verne. The cast was as follows. Harry Lawson was played by Bernard Horsfall, Professor von Hadwig by Geoffrey Banks, and Hans Bjolke by John Daglish. It was produced in the north of England by Trevor Hill. Next Thursday at 5:25 in Storytime on Radio 4, you can hear the fifth installment, and it's called The Battle of the Monsters.
Has proved himself pretty resourceful. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. With a piece of cardboard and some broken bits of mirror, it looks like he's going to turn the tables on the dreaded bandit leader, the Dragon Lady. We'll find out more about things in today's transcribed adventure in just a moment. Terry and the Pirates is brought to you by the makers of Libby's Tomato Juice, one of Libby's 100 famous foods. Boys and girls, when you take a glass of delicious Libby's Tomato Juice, I wonder if you realize all the work and care that went into bringing you such a swell-tasting drink. Suppose you yourself were to make your own tomato juice. I mean tomato juice that's as good as Libby's, if that's possible. Well, first you'd have to get a garden with just the right kind of soil that would help grow prize tomatoes. Why, gosh, just developing prize tomatoes might take years and years. But say you did it. Then you'd press those tomatoes. And if you were extra careful, you'd have a swell-tasting juice. But you'd have to drink it right away, Or can it quick as a wink, so that none of the freshness and flavor escapes? Anyway, it would be some job. And luckily, Libby has done it for us. Add to that famous flavor the fact that Libby's tomato juice supplies important vitamins A, B1, C, and G. Well, it's just too good to miss. And why miss it? Just tell Mother you want Libby's tomato juice. Libby's. L-I-B-B-Y-S. And now, Harry and the Pirates. Terry, Pat Ryan, April Kane, Burma, Jude Hennick, and Connie have been locked in upstairs rooms of an old brick building in Wutong, hideout of the Dragon Lady. They came to this mountain spot to recover a radio invention which this bandit leader, most powerful in China, stole from them in Singapore. But the Dragon Lady is clever, and they were trapped. Then at night, during a storm, Big Stoop, the Chinese servant, broke in and released Terry and Pat. This looked like the big chance. Not only to escape, but to recover the radio device. They dashed to the floor below, but the radio transmitter was not in its hiding place. Then Pat went on a tour of investigation, and as Big Stoop and Terry stood in the darkness of a first-floor room, they suddenly heard...
Hey, Big Stoop, come here, hurry up!
It's Pat, he's in trouble or something. Come on, Stoop, let's get going. This way. He's down on this floor. Where are you, Pat? Which way? We're coming. It's doggone dark down here. It's dark everywhere. Pat!
I'm here, Terry. Don't wait, hurry now.
What happened? Well, can't we have some light? We'll break our necks.
Yeah, some light. Let's lower that shade and look around. I'll wait right here.
You're not hurt, are you, Pat? I heard a shot.
No, I'm as good as new. Hurry now, lower that shade.
Yeah.
Where's Big Stoop?
He's in the doorway. Why, you wanting for something?
I don't know.
Well, what happened, Pat? Wait, I'll try and find the light. Ought to be something in here. Yeah, here it is. Here's a few lighters. Wait.
That's better.
Now, who did the shooting and look... Who's that on the floor? And who's that?
Hold the light closer to the two bodies, Terry. They ought to be recognized.
Why, this one's Lawyer Spur. And this is Mr. Keel. Well, what happened? I mean, how did you...
Very simple. Remember when we saw somebody trying to get in by that window in the other room a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Well, that was our good friend, Lawyer Spur. He couldn't force that window, so he went around to this one and got in. Well, I was here waiting for him. I nailed him right in the button. He's out like a light.
You mean you hit him in the dark without giving him a chance?
Now, look, Terry, me lad. Things happen much too fast for me. I couldn't send engraved invitations.
But it's...
Listen to this. Lawyer Spur climbed through that window, and about 10 feet or so behind him, out there in the drizzle, was another fella. He was coming in, too. Well, I had to act quick, so I sent Mr. Spur to Dreamland, and then tackled Mr. Keel.
Well, are they all right?
Still alive? I'm afraid they are. This is a crazy business, Terry. Crazy.
I'll say it is, but how do you mean it's crazy?
I mean that Lawyer Spur was coming here, breaking into this place to try and get back that radio device.
Yeah, but the invention isn't in that cabinet. We looked there.
But Spur didn't know that. He figured it was in this building.
You sure he wasn't coming over here to pull some trick on us? He knew that you and I were locked in one room, April and Burm in another, and Dude and Connie are in another.
He might have wasted some time on us, but I'll bet a hat old Spur wants that radio transmitter most of all.
That is most correct.
Oh, well, another count he heard from. Still alive, I see, Mr. Keel?
I would be more alive if somebody would remove their foot from my neck.
Well, I haven't got my foot on your... Stoop! What's the idea? Take your boot off the gentleman's neck.
Yes, Stoop, just relax. Just stand around. If either one of these men try to leave the room, then slap him down. Now, Mr. Keel, you were saying...
Mr. Spur came here to find the portable radio transmitter, to steal it.
But the Dragon Lady stole it from Mr. Spur. Who stole it from...
I am not interested in that discussion. Mr. Spur came here tonight to steal the invention. I followed him. I have not trusted him. Will you know the rest?
Yeah. Well, sorry I had to make that flying tackle and throw you for a 5-yard loss behind the table, but it had to be done.
And now what do you hope to accomplish, or haven't you thought of that?
Well, we're free. And I always think better when I got lots of room to move around in.
This building is guarded. You will not go very far.
It's not guarded very well. If Big Stoop could get in here, then you must have a lot of mighty sleepy guards around.
Never mind that. We'll find out about that later.
You have no weapons, Mr. Ryan.
I got this gun of yours. Went off when you hit the floor.
Well, that is all you have. It's very cold in these mountains. You have 2 women to look after. The walking is dangerous.
Well, anything would be better than going to work in a mine. You haven't forgotten that, have you?
Yeah. Your dragon lady promised all of us a steady job down in the mine somewhere in these mountains. We were going to disappear.
I do not make the plans. I am not in control here.
Yeah, but you get awful nasty at times. I still think I'd like to put your nose on top of your head.
Never mind, Pat. Now, don't hit...
Don't worry. I never pick on a man when he's down. But if I ever get on my feet and you're on your feet, too, so you can speak for yourself, you and I are going to tangle.
That will be a pleasure. I will not deny myself.
Well, what are we going to do now?
So, I understand you carried Lawyer Spur before. Well, pick him up. We'll bring these 2 gents up and lock them in a room. Come on, Keel. You can travel under your own power. Upstairs we go. Hold it a minute. We can't put these lads in the cell we were in, Terry. The lock is broken. The Big Stoop busted in.
Yeah, that's so. Well, let's put Keel and Spur in the room where Dude and Connie are. Hey, hold everything a second. I almost forgot.
What?
Big Stoop handed me a paper message when I was waiting for you downstairs. So dark, I didn't have a chance to read it, and then you yelled, and we've been busy with Mr. Keel and Mr. Spur ever since, so...
Let me take the lantern. Keep a tight grip on those men, Stoop. And don't let them get away. Now, what's all this paper business? What is it? That's Chinese. You can't read Chinese, Terry.
No, it isn't Chinese. It's a special Chinese code I worked out for Big Stoop and Connie and myself.
Yeah? You'll have to prove it before I'll be...
Well, look, those square marks and the dots all spell letters, and when you put them together, they spell a word.
Well, what's the message?
Well, the first word is come. The next word is, inside. The next word is please.
Come inside, please.
Yeah, and the rest of the sentence is before dawn hour. Yeah, this is from Connie.
Too polite to come from duty.
Yeah, they want us, or rather Big Stoop, to release them. Hold the lantern over here by the door.
You may release the men in this room and the 2 women in the other room, but where will you go? Where will you hide?
Well, we'll rub vanishing cream on ourselves, Mr. Keel.
You will do well to save your laughter until another day.
This is easy to open from the outside, Pat.
Good, let's do it, but fast.
So you plan to lock me and Mr. Spur in this room, is that it?
Oh, it's a swell idea, but I got a better one. We're going to throw Brother Spur in this cell. We're going to keep you with us.
I do not understand such foolishness.
You will.
It's about time you got us out of here.
Hi in there, dude. Connie, come on out.
Hey, you got Connie's message after all,
Yeah, we got it, and I just now decoded it. But we were going to let you out of here anyway. You all right, Connie?
Let's ask a lot of questions some other time, Terry. Hiya, Duty.
Hi, Pat.
We got things to do, but first... Stoop. Yeah, that fella under your arm. The one who's still sleepy by. Put fella in room. Savvy? Yeah, he understood.
Take your big hands off. Let me go.
Let him alone, Stoop. We take you this fellow with us. Catch him collar, hold tight. Sorry, Keel, but Stoop always does things in a big way.
What are we going to do with Mr. Keel?
Shut and bolt that door, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I hope you spared Mr. Keel from me, Pat. I have a nice bone to pick with him.
It's a fight, and the line forms to the right. I saw him first. Now, look. Keel knows where that radio device is hidden. He knows who has it.
And supposing I do, what good will that do you?
You're going to get it. Show us where it is. I'd hate to see anything happen to Big Stoop's temper, you know. And the quickest way to get him mad is for me to say you are a good friend of the Dragon Lady.
That's right. Stoop sees red when he hears her name.
Yes, you're very amusing people, but I do not respond to all this.
No? Well, let's try something else then. Stoop, looky. You lift, fella. Shaky like this. Quick 'em. Yes? Now.
Now, let me. No, put me down.
It's lucky for him he has no false teeth. They'd be shaken out by this time.
That'll do, Stu. Hold up. Stop and shake, fella. Now, Mr. Keel, did you find that very amusing? Come on. We release the ladies, then we'll go down to the floor below, and you'll tell us where to get that radio transmitter.
I'll see if I can unlock that door. We'd better hurry. Look down the corridor. It's almost daylight.
Well, Keel, do we make a deal?
I'm sorry. I cannot help you.
No. Well, I think you'll be a big help whether you want to be or not. Oh, Terry. Have you got that Terry-scope with you?
Sure. Right here. Connie just gave it to me.
Well, hang on to it. You know, I have a hunch it's going to help us locate that radio invention. And a few other things. Well, that Terry-scope has done wonders so far. Yes, and I'm mighty curious to know more about that strange Chinese code Connie and Terry and Big Stoop can read and write. Aren't you? Now, in just a moment, I have some more news about this adventure. Boys and girls, I want you to know a friend that you're bound to like. This friend will never let you down when you're thirsty and hankering for something super special. Yes, it's Libby's tomato juice. Here's why everybody goes for Libby's. First, only prize tomatoes are used. Their rich juice is pressed, then canned immediately to bring you that double delicious drink you'll shout about. Ask Mother to get Libby's, Libbys, Libby's tomato juice now. You'll like Libby's pineapple juice, too. You know, Terry and Pat are smart to keep Mr. Keel with them. But wait till you see the daring plan Pat Ryan has in mind. If it works, he may get the little radio device from the Dragon Lady. But if he fails, well, let's not hope for that. So grab a seat by your radio and, oh yes, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could see around corners, see what's going to happen before it did happen? Well, there's transcribed adventure ready for you tomorrow at this same time, and a super extra special feature. Terry has something he wants to say direct to you, and so we're fixing things up to tune him in. You won't want to miss that. So be sure to listen in. Terry and the Pirates. Terry Lee, American boy in China who invented the Terry-scope, and his good friend, the two-fisted, handsome Pat Ryan, are about to make a deal with the notorious Dragon Lady, powerful bandit leader. But there's many a slip between the deal and the dealers. So let's find out what's in today's transcribed adventure. Terry and the Pirates is brought to you by the makers of Libby's tomato juice, one of Libby's 100 famous foods. Say, kids, if you want a real thrill, just do this. Be the first in your gang to get a Terry-scope. Yes, you can get a Terry-scope, one that's exactly like Terry's invention that turned the tables on the Dragon Lady. It's made out of cardboard and mirrors just like his. But, of course, yours is brand new and works like a whiz. Gosh, but you've got a swell time ahead when you get your Terry-scope. You can see around corners with it, you know. See without being seen yourself. You can look over tall fences, too, and see what's going on behind you. And, kids, all that isn't the half of it. Actually, this Terry-scope gives you the secret Chinese code that Terry invented and taught to Big Stoop and Connie. It's the code Jude described as secret chicken tracks, remember? And listen, even that isn't all. The Terry-scope gives you the Morse code, too, and it's got a swell new game called a treasure hunt and a tricky picture of Big Stoop. Why, say, you'll get thrills galore from your Terry-scope, and you want to send for it right away. Now, here's all you do to get it. Ask Mother to get a can of Libby's tomato juice and one of Libby's pineapple juice. They're both delicious and a real treat. Then take the labels off the cans, and on the back of one of them, print your full name, age, and address. Mail the labels with 10 cents to Terry in care of Libby's, Chicago, Illinois. Now, that's an easy address to remember. Just Terry in care of Libby's in Chicago. I don't guess I have to remind you of all the tight places where the Terry-scope came to the rescue of our friends in China. How it showed them where the radio invention was hidden and gave them warning when the Dragon Lady was coming up to search Terry's room. And they tell me that Terryscope's going to play a big part in the adventures still to come. So you want to have yours so you can follow just what's happening. More than likely, your mother has some Libby's tomato juice and Libby's pineapple juice in the house right now. Look and see after the show, and send for your Terryscope right off. Remember to enclose 10 cents and give your full name, age, and address. Mail your order to Terry, care of Libby's, Chicago, Illinois. Libby's is spelled Libbys. And now, Terry and the Pirates. Well, Terry had better hang on to that Terryscope of his, because there's a lot of big stuff popping, and it'll come in handy. You see, Terry and Pat and Jude Hennick, the pilot, and Connie and Big Stoop, oh yes, and April Kane and Burma, they all arrived in the Chinese mountains in one way or another to recover the radio device, which was stolen from them by the Dragon Lady. And then things began to go crazy-like. And now, well, now the small radio transmitter that's so valuable, well, it's gone. Just listen to this conversation between Pat Ryan, Terry, and their enemy, the Dragon Lady, and then you'll understand.
I placed the radio invention in this cabinet last night. Mr. Keel was here with me. Oh, it's gone.
Well, Pat and I knew it wasn't in this cabinet, but we thought you'd taken it away and hidden it someplace else.
So you and I have both been cheated, eh? Now neither one of us have the advice.
Well, just a minute, lady, just a minute. You knew that radio gadget wasn't in this cabinet. You're trying to pretend it was stolen from here. You can't make me believe a third person took the invention.
You can't make me believe that you didn't take the radio device from this cabinet either. It must be that we're all lying.
Now, wait a minute. Let's figure this thing out. I used this Terryscope. I was up there in the room where you locked it.
Yes?
I was able to see down into this room. You put the radio thing into this cabinet, right?
That is so.
All right. Now, who knew it was here? You and Mr. Keel, Pat and me. Anybody else?
That I cannot say.
Okay. So Terry and I come down here and break into this cabinet. The invention's gone. We get hold of Keel and Lawyer Spur before either of them can get near this cabinet. So we count them out.
Then who took it and where is it?
And thus far you have not accounted for your friends, Mr. Ryan. Are they entirely innocent?
Well, I should say so. Jude Hennick and Connie were locked in one room. April Kane and Burma were locked in another.
So much for that. And the fact remains that a third person took it.
How about some of your own people?
Keel and Spur were the only two who knew.
Besides, they both came here to get the transmitter, so they thought it was still here.
Now, look, before we figure out who it is, how about our deal?
What deal? We have nothing to trade. We have nothing to discuss.
Now, look, maybe you don't know it, but you're our prisoner, and Big Stoop is outside in another room with his hand on the neck of your Mr. Keel.
But you cannot leave here without being taken by... Why, you can see my men outside. They have orders to shoot.
What good will that do you?
We can hold you here and make a deal with your men.
Very well. Enough of this silly talk. Mr. Ryan, we both have the same objective. To find the radio invention.
Yes, I know.
Now let us be alert. Mr. Ryan, I make a promise to you.
I'll make it a good one.
You and your friends shall go free. You are at liberty to leave Wutong and search in your own way for the missing radio transmitter.
Well, say now, that's very noble of you.
If you find it, we are to share and share alike in whatever is done with it. Do you understand?
Well, okay, it's a deal.
I, too, have a few ideas about the location of the invention, but I shall follow them out in my own way.
And if you find the radio transmitter, what about us?
It remains all mine. But you may leave Wutong if you wish.
Well, how will we know if you locate
We won't.
Well, what are you going to do with Mr. Keel and Lawyer Spur?
There are ways of forcing the truth from people. If either man knows the whereabouts of the missing device, they shall tell me sooner or later.
Okay. I'll have Stoop bring Keel upstairs and lock him in with Lawyer Spur.
Golly, Dragon Lady, why are we always on opposite sides? Why can't we be friends?
It is much too early in the morning to discuss such things, Terry Lee.
Well, I guess we just can't see eye to eye. Oh, speaking of eye to eye, how do you like this Terryscope? I guess there's no harm in telling you about it. You see...
Yes, I understand. You put one end down through the ceiling and saw into this room.
Oh, it's good for a lot of other things, too. Like, for instance, I can look through it while I'm standing here, and I can, I can see that cabinet over there against the other wall, and I'm not even facing that way.
Never mind. I'm in no mood for all that has happened this morning.
Now then, Dragon Lady, your two crooked pals are locked up in the room at the top of the stairs. They're your prisoners. But please be gentle.
Thank you. I shall attend to them at once. And as for you, I wish you good luck in your search for the radio transmitter. Good day, gentlemen.
Pat, I got an idea. It came to me like a 10-ton truck.
Something the Dragon Lady said to you?
No, listen, I'm probably all wrong, but, well, maybe I'm not.
Okay, try and make sense, Terry.
Well, look here. Take a look through this periscope. Now, stand this way and look through. What do you see?
Why, I see the cabinet against the wall.
Yeah, that's right, but now take a look without the periscope.
But it's... Oh, I see. It's the same kind of cabinet, only it's over there on the other wall.
Yeah, this cabinet here against this wall and that one over there are exactly alike.
Yeah, but... Oh, come now, Terry. Don't tell me all of us have made a mistake. I mean...
No, of course we didn't make a mistake. My idea's crazy, I guess. I guess when I looked through the periscope, I got an idea, but it wasn't any good.
Are you trying to say that maybe the radio invention is locked in that other cabinet on the other side of the room?
When I saw the cabinet through the periscope, the idea struck me, but... No, I guess not, huh?
Hi, Soap. Come on, Terry. Snap out of it. How could a radio transmitter the size of a loaf of bread be in that other cabinet over there?
I know I'm wrong, Pat, but if I hadn't been looking through the periscope, I might never have... Say, Stoop. Look 'em, see? You look 'em box so big, loaf bread like 'em this. You look 'em in this window, see Dragon Lady put 'em box in cabinet. Savvy?
He's nodding his head. Look 'em, Stoop. Where go box? Bad fella take 'em away?
No, he's shaking his head. Means the portable transmitter was in here, but wasn't taken away. But in that case, where is it? Look 'em, Stoop. Where box in cabinet? You show 'em Terry, Pat.
I wonder what he's going to do.
Look, Pat, he's lifting this heavy cabinet and lugging it across to the other wall.
Wait. Maybe Big Stoop knows what he's doing.
Now what's he gonna do?
Wait, we'll see. Look at the big fella grin.
Stoop, did you look through a window last night in this room?
He nods his head. Sure he did, Terry. Say, it's as plain as day.
Sure it is. Big Stoop switched cabinets last night before he came upstairs and let us out. Boy, oh boy, was that smart.
You jumping, Joe, what do you know? Big Stoop knew the radio invention was in this cabinet, so he changed the two cabinets around. Naturally, when we or anybody else looked in this cabinet, nothing was there.
Sure, it was the wrong cabinet, and all the time.
Yeah. I'll bet all the tea in China, that little radio invention, is right in this cabinet. The one Stoop just brought over here from the other wall.
Dog, Stoop is sure a smarty pants, huh?
Not so bad yourself, Terry. If you hadn't been fooling with that periscope, you might not have gotten the idea. I'll bet if we hadn't asked Big Stoop any questions, he wouldn't have made a move to show us the twin cabinet trip.
Well, anyway, let's take a look in this cabinet and see if we're right.
Okay. I have a hunch this is one of the times we are right.
Yes, I have a hunch also that Pat and Terry are getting a break thanks to Big Stoop and thanks to the Terryscope. That tricky device is going to save our friends a lot of trouble before long. Boys and girls, you heard Terry say yesterday how pleased he'd be if every one of you sent for a Terryscope like his. Well, I know you wouldn't want to disappoint a friend like Terry. I expect you'd send for one just to please him. But actually, the person who'll be missing out if you don't get a Terryscope is Mr. You yourself. Believe me, you'll be missing a pile of fun and excitement if you don't send right away. You see, kids, it isn't only that you'll be getting a Terryscope, just like the one that's playing such a big part in the show. The Terryscope you'll get has 8 exciting special features. codes, games, tricks you can't get anywhere else in the world. And it's a swell-looking thing, too. All lacquered, shiny red and black with a dragon and Chinese characters on it. And pictures of Pat and Burma and our other friends. Now, to get this thrilling new Terryscope, here's all you do. You take a label from a can of Libby's delicious tomato juice and one from Libby's grand pineapple juice. Then you print your full name, age, and address on the back of one and mail the labels along with 10 cents to Terry in care of Libby's, Chicago, Illinois. You're getting a marvelous bargain, kids, when you get this unique Terryscope for just 10 cents and 2 Libby's labels. It's a chance that won't come your way again after this offer is over. So get your order in now. Address Terry, care of Libby's, Chicago, Illinois. Send a label from Libby's tomato juice, a label from Libby's pineapple juice, and a dime. And, of course, enclose your full name and address. Well, now that our adventurous friends almost have their hands on the precious radio transmitter, what's the next move? Well, they don't know, so how could I possibly tell you? Well, I guess we'll have to join them tomorrow, and find out for sure.